In 2011, Aleksei Voronov, Sergei Tanin, and Natasha Kulik secured their camp on the southern shore of Lake Baikal at 9:40 in the evening. And then the fire was still burning. 3 untouched plates of food sat beside it, and the world's deepest lake, searched for 11 days by 200 people, turned up nothing. And that is the problem. Aleksei Voronov was 34, a structural engineer from Irkutsk who had hiked Baikal's shoreline every summer since he was 19. Sergei Tanin, 31, was his childhood friend, quiet, methodical, the kind of man who overprepared for everything. Natasha Kulik was 29. She was Sergei's girlfriend 3 months into a new job, and she had never seen the lake before this trip. They arrived on a Friday, August 12, 2011. The weather was clear, 17 degrees, almost no wind. They planned 5 days along the Great Baikal Trail, one of Siberia's most walked hiking routes. They checked in with a ranger station at 4:15 in the afternoon. Their route was filed. Their packs were organized. That evening they made camp at a designated site called Kilometer 44, a flat clearing 40 meters from the shore, with a stone fire ring, a wooden picnic table, and clear sightlines in 3 directions. 2 other hiking groups were camped within 600 meters. One of those groups, a family of 4 from Ulenyud, saw Aleksei and Sergei hauling water from the lake at 9:20 p.m. Natasha was sitting at the table. The families exchanged nods. Nobody spoke. At 9:40, the father from Ulenyud said all 3 were back at camp, fire lit, eating. At 10:15, that same father walked to the tree line to relieve himself. He glanced toward Kilometer 44, fire burning, food still on the table, no one visible. He did not think anything of it. People step away. People use the woods. At 11:00, the temperature dropped to 8 degrees. Their tent was still zipped shut from the outside. Their sleeping bags were inside it, unrolled and empty. No one had slept in them. The next morning, the family from Ulenyud packed up and moved north. They assumed the 3 had started early. 11 kilometers up the trail, at the next ranger checkpoint, no one had logged a pass-through for Voronov, Tanin, or Kulik. A return hiker reached Kilometer 44 by mid-afternoon. The camp was exactly as the family had last seen it. Fire cold, food still there, boots lined up outside the tent. 3 pairs. Inside. Search operations started the following morning. 200 people across 11 days. Helicopters covered the full trail corridor. Divers worked the lake in a 500-meter radius from the camp. Tracker dogs swept the perimeter and then stopped 40 meters into the tree line on the eastern side. The scent ended. No footprints past the soft soil margin. No broken branches beyond that point. Nothing recovered from the water. No clothing. No separated gear. The camp stayed intact. The food stayed on the table. The most immediate theory was the lake. Baikal is 1,642 meters at its center. The shoreline water in August runs at 6 degrees Celsius, cold enough to incapacitate an adult swimmer within 4 minutes. The theory was simple. One slipped at the water's edge after dark, the other 2 went in trying to help, and the current took all 3. It fit the timeline. It explained the absence of bodies. The lake had done it before, except the dogs never tracked to the shoreline. They tracked east, away from the water. And then there are the boots. Aleksei, Sergei, and Natasha were 40 meters from the water's edge when they vanished. 3 adults at night in August Siberia walked to the lake in socks or barefoot, and none of the neighboring campers heard a sound. No splash, no voice, no call for help. Sound carries on Baikal like a long haul. On a calm August night, you can hear a conversation across 2 kilometers of open water. The neighboring camp was 600 meters away. They heard nothing. Remember the untouched food. This was not a panic. This was not a fall. They left camp during a meal, without boots, without a sound, in a direction the dogs tracked east and not toward water, and between 9:40 and 10:15, in 35 minutes, they disappeared from a populated trail in the middle of the hiking season, with 200 searchers finding nothing. The detail investigators held back until 2014. The ranger who processed their check-in at 4:15 had noted something in his log that was initially dismissed. Before leaving the station, Aleksei Voronov asked him one question. He asked whether anyone else had been on the kilometer 44 site in the past 48 hours. The ranger said no. Voronov nodded, said nothing else. Investigators could never find anyone who knew why he asked. The case remains open with Russian federal authorities. No suspects, no evidence added since 2014. 3 people, 35 unwitnessed minutes, a lake that holds everything it keeps. What did Aleksei Voronov know about kilometer 44 before he ever set foot there?